Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, and I thought today I'd do something a little special for you guys and show you my NES collection, because I talk about it quite a bit in my videos, and figured it was worth showing to you guys. So let's see what I got for you. These are in no particular order, by the way. First up we've got Super Mario Bros. 3, Classic. I might do a speed run of that at some point later on, we'll see. I've got a lot of them too, by the way. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Pretty good. Better than the first one, all in all, I would say, just because it's a little bit more difficult. Rad Racer, the game made famous by Lucas playing it in The Wizard with the Power Glove, definitely. Mario Brothers 2, originally Doki Doki Panic, of course. Most people know the scandal of that game, but very fun game. Still. Let's see, I'm just grabbing these randomly. Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I just did an LP of this. Awesome game. Really great Disney Capcom game. Most of them were. There are a few others. There's DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Tailspin. Ninja Gaiden. I'm doing an LP of Ninja Gaiden right now. Check it out if you haven't. One of my top 5 games of all time for the Nintendo, definitely. And Ninja Gaiden 2. Not as good as the original one, but still a really fun game. Highly recommend it to be in a Nintendo Collection, at least. Well, they're sliding down now. You've got to have yourself some Contra. I'm trying to beat it in 1 life after I saw Nintendo Capri Sun do it, but the most I've ever been able to do it in is 3 lives so far, but maybe one day I'll do it in 1. Let's see what else we got. Cobra Triangle. Oh man, this is a ridiculous game. You're a speedboat, and you have to do a bunch of tasks randomly, like dispose of mines, or race to a finish line, or fight a boss like that dragon there. Pretty fun game though. You can get it pretty cheap. Let's see, you got baseball. Not too fun of a game. A lot of these original Black Box titles aren't very good, except for a few. Excite Bike being one of them. Unfortunately, I don't have that game. Let's see. Captain Skyhawk. I remember playing this game at a friend's house, and so I got it for a couple of bucks. It's not the greatest game in the world, but it's oh, my focus is going out. But it's pretty fun. It's worth it if you can get it for a couple of dollars. You're just kind of isometric almost, kind of space shooting. You gotta have Castlevania. It's classic. So next up we have Air Fortress. Pretty cool side-scrolling shooter, and then the bonuses or power-ups that you get from the side-scrolling stage you use to help you in like kind of a platform, kind of puzzle-ish kind of stage, which makes up the second half of the level. You got Crystallis, or Crystallis, depending on how. This is an awesome game. This is totally an underrated RPG. If you like Secret of Mana for Super Nintendo, where it's a live-action role-playing game where you battle enemies and get experience and stuff without actually going into a battle scenario like you do in Final Fantasy games, this game is awesome. Highly, highly recommend it. It does run about $10 though, but very fun game. Next up, RC Pro-Am. Really awesome. The sequel is even better, but that retails for about $40 or so. But awesome game. Isometric point of view, so it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but man, this is hours of fun once you figure out exactly what to do in it. Let's see, Classic Duck Hunt. The only Zapper game I own. Let's see. Mega Man 2, one of the only 2 games that I originally have from growing up. This is just my favorite game of all time, without a doubt. I love it so much. My first LP was of that when I had to do it crappy on the TV. But really awesome game. Certainly will always be my #1 video game of all time. Let's see. Bandai Golf Challenge Pebble Beach. Really crappy golf game, but then again, there were not a lot of good golf games for the NES. NES Open Tournament Golf with Mario actually on the cartridge. That's probably the best one there is, if you ask me. Batman. Batman is a fun game. One of the best movie license games probably still today. But man, the Joker at the end, I cannot beat him for the life of me. It doesn't want to focus right now. Cannot beat the Joker for the life of me. He is so ridiculously hard. If you can, like the Angry Video Game Nerd said, you deserve a medal. Next up, Battletoads, one of my only 2 original Nintendo games I still have. You can see my name right there because I had this lent out to a friend at the time when I sold all my Nintendo games. So I've decided when I get 100 subscribers on YouTube, if and when I do, I'm going to play this game. I'll put myself through that agony and frustration again and do that for the people. Next up, Blades of Steel, awesome hockey game. I love this game because when you get into you can fight in it, and when you fight in it, the person that loses the fight goes to the penalty box, not the person that started the fight. Robo Warrior is next. Pretty cool game. A lot like Bomberman, but you also have a gun and you can do just like some regular like platform kind of shooting up in it. So it's Bomberman, but it's got a cool action twist to it, pretty much. Next up, Bart vs. the Space Mutants. Probably the least crappy of the Simpsons games for the NES, but still a pretty bad game. If you have a Nintendo Collection, you must have Legend of Zelda Gold Cart. I'm not a huge Zelda fan, all in all. I enjoy it, but if you got a Nintendo Collection, you need to have Zelda, without a doubt. Next up is a very scratched up copy of Gradius I have. I don't know, I have one game that's like all cut up on the back too and stuff like that. Gradius is pretty good. I prefer Life Force, which is actually a game I don't own, but this is a very close second as far as side-scrolling space shooters go for the NES. Let's see, Bart vs. the World. Oh god, I don't know why I have this. Terrible game. Even worse than Bart vs. the Space Mutants. Let's see what we got here. Ninja Turtles, the original one. You either love it or hate it. A lot's been said about it. I'm more so dislike this than like it. I gotta be honest. The arcade game, though, you know, Nintendo tried to do everything they could for a good port onto the NES, and it's a pretty fun game. Manhattan Project, though, is where it's at. My favorite of the 3. They really got everything right with this one. And it's an original story, which I really like. Let's see, we got Gunsmoke, a lot like Sunset Riders for Super Nintendo, if you've ever played that. Really fun game. Kung Fu, one of the or black box titles that I think still holds up to the day. That and Excite Bike. Mega Man 3, a lot of people prefer this to Mega Man 2, but I like Mega Man 2 just because I'm a nostalgic person like that. But still, I love all Mega Man games. Very solid. Next up, a strange game, Solar Jetman and the Hunt for the Golden Warp Ship, which was also made by Rare and Trade West, who did Battletoads. And man, this is a hard game, very physics-based, so momentum and weight play a big part. You're trying to gather fuel for your mothership to go from place to place. Very, very hard game. Not meant for children, I would not say. Let's see. Classic Mario Brothers. Spy Hunter. Fun game to have some beers and try to get the high score with some friends with. Star Tropics. Very underrated game. Very much like Legend of Zelda. If you like Legend of Zelda, there's no reason why you shouldn't like this game. Very fun. Very like, good 6 or 7 hours worth of gameplay right there. Tetris, you know, not as good as Tengen Tetris, but pretty good all in all. It's still fun. I don't like this version as much as most versions. Like, even you get a very unbalanced amount of pieces in this one, and that's kind of the part that really turns me off to it. But I'll still play it every now and again. Wrath of the Black Manta. This is a pretty cool game, actually. You go around and you try to collect hints on this mystery that you're trying to solve, and it's kind of like a mystery, kind of, but you're a ninja, side-scrolling, action, fun. Still, pretty good game. Kind of overlooked. And my last game, one of my favorite titles ever, Zixus. I think it's Zixus, at least. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's you just basically go around from place to place. You have to do whatever you can to move to the next area. I just love that title, though. Zixus. I don't know. That's so weird. Not a bad game, though. But that's going to do it for my Nintendo collection, guys. It is ever-growing all the time. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my other videos. This has been the Johnny Cage. I will see you guys later on.